Hi, this is Representative Al Baldasaro once again back at you on the show, Who's Looking Out for You? I'm sorry it's been a while since I've been on, as with COVID and traveling and other stuff involved in homeless veterans in Florida. I decided to do a special show today, and I have a special guest, a Brigadier General who served 33 years in the Army, and I won't hold that against him, being a 22-year Marine. But anyways, 10 tours in Afghanistan, and he's running for U.S. Senate. And I think it's about damn time that we start getting veterans to step up at the plate and run for office. General, welcome.
Thank you, Al. It's great to be here. I really appreciate the
General, you
opportunity.
came here with another special guest here today, and we're honored to have him. And most people, I'm sure, you know, my age, I was a year, I think, in the Marine Corps when he stopped playing baseball.
Right.
I think it was 1976, somewhere around there, Rico.
That's right.
I want you to meet Rico Petrocelli, former third baseman, shortstop. I don't know, what'd you have, like 270 home runs or something like that?
210, I think. I wasn't counting.
Yeah, I was counting now, right? I mean,
I
that's
got
all
rained out
in
of
the
one,
past.
too, boy.
But anyways, welcome to Londonderry, and I'm honored to have both of you here.
Thank you. Thanks,
General,
Al.
you know, I've been doing this show for many years here, and I have another show. Not only my co-host is here, but we have a chairman's meeting today, so I decided not to go. You were more important.
Well, thank
But
you.
anyway, can you tell me, I mean, 33 years in the Army, why would you step up and take the punishment that people attack you and this and that? Why would you do this?
Well, for me, was not on my radar screen now. I was wanting to, my wife and I, helping veterans, teaching, and, you know, getting involved in our community. Running for office wasn't on our radar screen, but I've had many people in all 10 counties of this great state, all 50 states, and across the military, reaching out to me, asking me to run for the United States Senate. And I don't think that's because I have all the answers and I'm the smartest guy in the room, but I think it's proven service to our great nation, and they know that they can trust me to do the right thing by them. And that's my why. My why is if they think I can help them, I want to go down there and help them. And I think what we're seeing in this country, with our economy, fiscal responsibility, safety and security of Americans both inside the United States and outside the United States, and the lack of ineffective leadership, the ineffective leadership that we have at the most senior levels, and the fact that we have people in the United States Senate that don't understand national security, that haven't been out there in the real world, outside of New Hampshire, outside of the United States. I think people are yearning for that. They're tired of career politicians, and I think that's why they're reaching out to me, and I will once again go do what people ask in service of them.
Well, that's awesome. Now, Rico endorsed you, and I mean that was honorable. I mean, Rico, I thought I heard you one time say you were concerned about the future of your grandkids and other stuff. You want to talk a little bit why you endorsed?
Well,
General?
I'm very, very concerned listening to what was going on after the election, the way that Biden was taking us, and the Chinese involvement and all that. And I was getting worried. I mean, was this country going to go socialist or Marxist? And what's going to happen to our kids, all of our kids, not just me, Democrats and Republicans and whatever else. I mean, it was a big concern. So I had a podcast on one day, and I saw this guy here, this general, and he's talking. I said, you know, he's running for senator, and I said, wow, he's awesome. And then he says, from New Hampshire. I said, New Hampshire, I got to get in touch with him. He pumped me up so much. And finally, I got in touch with him, and we had lunch, and I said, I'm a supporter of you all the way. I mean, he has it all. Plus the fact that he's the kind of person we want in Washington. That's not going to take, you know, be knocked around, you know, or convinced that to do the wrong thing.
Right.
I mean, he loves this country. He's a leader. He's got courage. You name it. And that's why I was so impressed with him, and why I want to see him elected. And I'm not sorry for it too, Boyka, because we've done a few things together, and he's just awesome.
Oh, that's
Really
great.
is.
You know, I mean, it's a shame what's going on. I'm so disgusted in watching the news today on Afghanistan. I never served in Afghanistan. I served in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, one of the first Marines into Kuwait. I ran Kuwait International. But being over there and seeing the way the religious wars are going on, and they've been going on for hundreds of years. You've been there 10 times in Afghanistan. What's your take on this here?
Well, it's an unmitigated disaster. And back in 2014, when the Obama administration decided to change a very effective strategy we had going, you know, I was a general officer at the time, and I said, this is a bad idea, and I let my leadership know. The leadership that's in place today, General Milley, General Dunford was the commander in Afghanistan, and General Milley was the 3-star commander in Afghanistan. They were my bosses. And we were sitting in a meeting, and the Chief of Staff of the White House, who's now the Secretary of Veteran Affairs, McDonough, Mr. McDonough, he said, hey, we're going to be changing strategy. We're going to be going from combat operation, non-combat operations. We're going to be coming out of the villages. And I respectfully raised my hand and I said, I think that's a mistake, and I'll tell you why. And all the assessments prove that it's a mistake. And it's too early to do that. We have the Taliban and Al-Qaeda say they're being beaten, but the Afghan government isn't quite there yet in being able to control this Afghan local police program, which is a program that empowers them to secure the rural area, and they were doing it. And they never lost a fight against the Taliban or Al-Qaeda, unlike the Afghan National Security Forces, who routinely lost fights against them without our direct intervention. So that was a big difference there. And they made that decision, and I, you know, was vocal about it on behalf of the men and women who did that mission and made it so successful, and what it would do to the Afghan people in the rural villages. You know, what we're seeing in Kabul right now has been played out for since 2016, after they reversed the security situation. Taliban resurged, Al-Qaeda resurged, ISIS came into the fight, Taliban members became ISIS members. It was unbelievable, right? And then in 2019, we had the highest casualty rate that we had in Afghanistan among U.S. service members. So not only did the change in strategy hurt the security situation, but it created unnecessary casualties for U.S. service members and coalition members. And to me, that's unconscionable. And they knew this, and they knew. And they knew from assessments that the Afghan National Security Forces would cave, and they would cave early without our help. And so they irresponsibly removed all of our air assets, all of our counterterrorism capability, left American citizens and our Afghan allies and our other allies in place, and only held on to one airport, right? One airport, you know. And if you're asking someone in Afghanistan to go from Kandahar to Kabul, that's 484 kilometers in enemy territory, where the Taliban, Al-Qaeda are looking to kill you. Right? You can't do that. And then you tell them to, cover in place, right? That's just making them a target, because they're going home for home, you know, house to house.
Yeah.
I mean, unmitigated disaster, poor military planning at the highest levels, poor, national security advising to the president, poor decision by the president, and they continue to reinforce failure, Al. You know, it's time to step back and go, hey, we made a mistake. We got to go do this differently. And this is everything our guys reported on, everything they said would happen has happened, and to the negative. And now we're barely holding on to one airfield. And we got a wish and a prayer. We don't even have the numbers, which I think is unconscionable too, because I know when I was there, we knew how many American citizens we had there. And we knew what we needed to do if we had to run a non-combatant evacuation, right? And we knew that we were going to be the last ones out. Not the first ones out, but the last ones out. And what we've done now geopolitically is we've sent a message to our allies all over the world that they can't count on America. And that's not America. That is not the spirit of the three of us sitting here. And that's not the spirit of our service members. And we've done them a disservice. And look what we've done to the veterans, right? The veterans who are suffering now because they feel that their service was in vain.
Right.
And we cannot allow them to do that.
No.
And where is one leader stepping forward at the senior level saying, this is not your fault, this is a policy and strategy failure at the highest levels. You did your job, you did it well, and your sacrifice isn't in vain. And what about our Gold Star?
Right, you ain't kidding. You know, I met a veteran in Florida. Well, outside there, I was smoking a cigarette and talking to him. He was out in tears because he lost friends that got killed in Afghanistan, and he kept saying to himself, what did they die for? Why did they have to die? He kept over and over and over. You know what I mean? And a lot of veterans are very depressed over this here. It's like Vietnam all over again. It's Saigon. And Biden was involved in that too in 1975, because I joined the Marine Corps in 75 and then retired in 98. So I was in the barracks, you know, after boot camp with those veterans, warriors that waiting for them to be discharged. You know, and I seen how they were treated and everything else. And then today, I mean, it's a disgrace. I'm so disgusted over this whole thing, because President Trump had them at bay. He threatened them and told them he was supposed to be out of there in May.
Right.
You know, that was his plan, to get everyone out in May, but he said, but conditions on the ground. Matter of fact, didn't he even change the rules of engagement?
He did.
You know, then why we didn't lose any veterans anymore?
He changed the rules of engagement. I mean, I was on active duty at the time, commanding in Africa. And he changed the rules of engagement on how we were able to support our partners in going after terrorist organizations and helping our partners in Africa. And you have the largest number of terrorist, violent extremist organizations in Africa, anywhere in the world. And they're taking advantage of the areas that are ungoverned, and they're expanding and expanding and expanding all over Africa. And so that was our responsibility. And so not only did he help our service members in Iraq and Syria and in Afghanistan, of which many of them that came to do 6-month tours in Africa in support of what we were doing in Africa against terrorist organizations. They worked for me before, right? So it's the same soldiers going into Africa, being cycled in Africa after they come out of Afghanistan, after they come out of Iraq, after they come out of Syria. And so, I mean, these guys have, are being let down significantly, don't you feel?
Right.
I mean, and you make the point. I mean, you make the point very well that that we have let them down, and it's ineffective leadership at the highest levels, following politicizing everything, and we got to be better than that.
Right.
We are better than
We
that.
are better than that.
We are
know
better
damn
than
well,
that.
but when
And
when
President
change
Trump,
presidents like we did.
this wouldn't happen under President
You
Trump.
remember how it happened under Carter?
Yeah.
I'm sure the Army was like in the Marine Corps. We had no money to train.
Nothing.
We had deadline planes, tanks. We didn't have money to buy parts.
Right.
It was a disgrace under Carter. Then Ronald Reagan stepped in, and then all of a sudden we started getting new equipment, everything. Then what's his name? Clinton stepped in.
Right.
And then Clinton did good for the first couple of years. Then after that, he cut us big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't understand it. Every time we seem to get a Democrat president, I was a Democrat for years.
You're right.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you being a civilian, you've seen this, and on the outside, look, I don't know if you ever served in the military.
I did reserves.
Reserves,
Yeah, I was,
yeah. You served.
Yeah, I was playing ball at the time, and the Red Sox suggested a few of us go in the off season, in which we did. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh, awesome.
I survived.
Yeah, so you were a soldier too.
Yeah, I was.
I won't hold that against
Yeah.
you. All right.
You know, it was a great,
How about
great
that?
experience.
Right.
Great experience.
The MLB encouraging service to
Yeah,
your
no,
country.
that's awesome. But,
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. But it was a great experience for me. But how can you trust? How can you trust Biden, and not only him, but his whole staff? Kamala Harris
She's
is in
useless.
Asia. They, from what I hear, they're just trying to farther as they can, get her away from everything.
Right.
And I'm very happy with her. But it continues in all areas, economically and of course militarily, and then the kids with the shots and all of that stuff. When you talk to people, they have families, they are worried. And I don't understand you talked about Democrats, not the same Democratic Party that
Right.
it was, in the
I
60s.
grew up with Tip O'Neill, in my grandfather's yard. He was a 4-term mayor in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
I remember.
You know,
Yeah, Kennedy, and I mean, they got along. I mean,
Right, they all worked together.
They worked together,
Right.
and that's not happening. This group is just, we see from the censorship. I mean, they're censoring, the president. It's ridiculous. I just can't believe it. I get so worked up that why people can't see this. But the Democrats, I mean, why would you want what's going on? How can you be happy about that? I mean,
Right.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's why I was so concerned day after day. I'd listen to the MSNBCs, the CNNs, and then Fox and these others, and I'm saying, well, why would you censor people if you want to help? It's ridiculous.
Over the past 2 days, we've shown ultimate weakness in that we're allowing the Taliban to dictate terms on the ground and tell us what the red lines are. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. If we had
We don't do that.
If we had a U.S. senator, which I believe we're going to have, a Senator Bolduc, would you be pushing to take back that airfield?
Oh, absolutely. And all
Bagram, I think.
Yeah, Bagram Airfield, the airfield in Jalalabad, the JBAD we call it for short, up in MES, Kunduz, and out in Herat. And if we did airfield sieges and took those, and then developed safe corridors, and go out and get our people and bring them back in, that's the way to do it. Airfield sieges, I mean, we have very well trained light infantry units, Ranger units to be able to do that in a heartbeat.
Right.
Marine Corps units.
Corps Force Recon.
That's
all
right.
That
Boom. Go right in there,
infantry.
secure the airfield,
Right.
take it from them, tell the Taliban, you get anywhere near us, you're out of here, right? You're done. Get our counterterrorism folks back up in the air, get them ears on,
Right.
and, hey, we got a present for you.
We have the equipment there. They're on the ships.
Yeah.
The MEU is there, the Marine Amphibious Unit, which I've done 2 MEUs in one expeditionary and NATO force my time in the Marine Corps, floats. So they're there. But the only thing is they flew in just the troops, not their equipment. You know what I mean? I would think the general would want to send people in to go get those helicopters.
That's right.
And fly them out.
That's
Do
right.
a mission
Absolutely,
in the middle of the night, bring in the pilots and fly them out
That's
of
right.
there.
That's right.
You know?
We could get this done, and then we could make a decision, right?
Right.
We own the airheads. We get all our people out. You know what it is. You did it. I mean, reception, staging, on integration, and onward movement. RSO and I, right? That's what we
Right.
do. And we get our folks out, and then we can say, okay, now we're at a decision point, right? We beat the Taliban before. We can beat them again. They'll run away from us. They may fight for a little bit, but that's not their style. And, we can show them who's boss there
Right.
again.
Oh,
We
without a
certainly
doubt.
can. Now, the American people don't want to hear that, but we've just been put in a situation by poor national leadership where we can't allow this to stand. We can't allow this damage
not
to
at all.
our honor, our integrity,
Oh, geez, yeah.
the bravery of those that sacrifice there to go unanswered. We just can't.
This will affect us for
Shouldn't
years
we have
and
a
years.
It will.
presence
It
there.
will. It will.
Right.
General, shouldn't we have a presence there? By that I mean because of the ISIS and the Al Qaeda, who will build up, their organizations
time.
and
Yes.
and affect us. So I'm not saying, I don't want to see anybody, any of our soldiers killed or in danger. But this is an important area now, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
That's where
you know,
terrorists are going to launch from.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Right there, because they'll have free will, and they're being funded through other countries over there too. But let's step away from this for a second
Sure.
here, because I know we got about 9 minutes here. I've received some phone calls while I was in Florida another time from some of my seniors here. Let's talk local stuff here. About the gas prices going up, about the food costs going up, their Social Security's not going up. That they're going to be struggling. Like my town is talking about doing a reassessment of the properties. 2 years, they did it 2 years ago. They're supposed to do it every 5 years. This is going to cost their property taxes to go up. And I know that's a local issue on that, but the gas and all this other stuff, I mean, are you hearing this around the state as you go around on there?
Oh, absolutely. People are very concerned about the inflation and gas prices. And these were, again, decisions by the administration to stop drilling in key places, and they have completely given up our what President Trump established, and that was energy independence. And so that's what's causing the gas prices to go up, because now we're reliant on OPEC again.
Right.
And we're asking them to finagle the barrel prices. We shouldn't be asking them anything. We have the capability, we have the capacity, we have the natural resources to do it. We should be in the business of leveraging all of our energy capabilities and capacities and making energy go down, gas prices go down. Remember, everything people enjoy in this society is driven by petroleum products. Petroleum products touch just about everything we do,
That's right.
and it raises the price of everything, and that's why we're seeing inflation. Bologna, that's a staple in my house, by the way. I got my sons that love it, my grandson that loves it. He loves bologna sandwiches, right?
Right, yeah.
It's $4.99 a pound now. It's gone up
Wow.
from $1.99 to $4.99 a pound. And that might not sound like a big deal, but it is to us,
right.
It is.
When you're on a budget.
When you're on a
That's
budget,
right,
it is, right?
Sure.
And, cheese has gone up, bologna has gone up, mustard's gone up. The three things that make a great bologna and cheese sandwich,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's all gone up. And this is wrong, right? It's hugely wrong.
I'm a
And
peanut
it
butter jelly guy,
Yeah.
and that's gone up.
Right, and that's gone up
right.
too. The peanut butter has gone
Right,
up
yeah.
incredibly.
Everything, yeah.
And so, and that's what we're doing. Hey, they either want a peanut butter and marshmallow sandwich, a fluffernutter, or a bologna and cheese sandwich. I got one granddaughter that likes jelly, marshmallow, and peanut butter. That's all gone up. Bread's gone up. Everything has gone up. And to people at the higher levels and people making these decisions, it doesn't affect them.
No, a lot
But
of
it
them
affects
don't.
us. It
Right.
affects the average person. And then, hey, let's talk about what else is doing it. They broke our supply chain, and they continue to break it. Senator Hassan sits on the supply chain committee.
And she
right?
does
They've
nothing.
done nothing about
Nothing.
it. They've done nothing. I'm traveling to San Diego and back with my wife, and there are bare shelves.
She
I took a
supported
picture of
She
it.
supported the taxes, to raise the taxes
That's right.
again.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. And look what they've done to our education. We're not getting an education, our children in public schools. They're getting indoctrination and being taught an ideology. They're not getting an education, but yet that's the bulk of our taxes. And it's wrong, and it's going up. And you're right. It's going up more and more and more to education, and we're not even getting the good return on our investment that we want in the public schools. So we have a supply chain issue. We have the fact that we made decisions to not do the pipeline, not drill for natural gas and oil on public lands and in the Arctic and Antarctica. He's shut all that down. He's now dependent on OPEC, and they're paying people to stay home.
That
right?
makes no sense.
It makes absolutely
Yeah,
no
no
sense.
sense whatsoever.
So we're spending more and more of our taxpayer dollars to sustain people to stay home when the opportunity out there for jobs is there, and we need to continue to. We got to change that.
A lot of seniors watch this show here in my town. We have a lot of seniors, and a lot of them are all on budgets.
Right.
Look in the camera and tell how can you help them or make a difference at being a U.S. senator?
Right. Well, for you, as a U.S. senator, I got to do a couple things. One, we got to lower your health care costs. We got to lower your Medicare costs. We got to make sure that is working better for you. We got to improve these programs so that we're not wasting dollars. We're making it easier for you to get the health care that you need. And we have to bring down the prices of food. And we have to bring down energy prices. You and me, we can't afford these energy prices.
And you're not a wealthy guy. I mean, like some of these other people.
No,
that
I
ran
am not a
before.
wealthy guy.
Right.
I live on a budget. A lot of
Right.
people go, oh, he's a retired general, he must make a lot of money. No, I don't. I get 60% of my retirement pay. Unlike someone who spends 12 years in the U.S. Senate, they get 100%, right? That's wrong. That's wrong across the board. You're paying for too much extra stuff that you shouldn't be paying for out there, and we have to tighten up the welfare programs, hand up programs, not hand out programs. There's a lot of things that we can do to help you across these programs that are absolutely out of control. Your healthcare costs are out of control, Medicare costs, all these things we can help you with if we start working for you and not the other way around.
What do you think, Rico? I mean, after listening to General Bolduc here for a while now, and what's going on.
Oh, he knows. Yeah, he knows what's going on, and he knows that you get to Washington. I mean, it's vicious there. Let's face it, what's going on. The battle every single day, and what's happening out there, and that's why I believe he's the guy to go to Washington to be our senator. Not only cares and loves the state, he loves our country, and he sees what's going on, and he's not going to be bullied.
Right.
It's not going to be. They're not going to do. Somebody's not going to come along and say, "Why don't you do this?"
Right.
And he's not going to do it. He knows exactly
doubt.
what we need, the people need, and that's the thing. He's a leader. He's been a leader.
Without a doubt. Now, I didn't get into any veterans issues because I know there'll be a waste of my time talking to him about veterans issues because there's no doubt in my mind he's going to push and push to make sure that New Hampshire's community care program is completely funded 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
But now, let's say we got about 2 minutes left here, General. How do people get in touch with you?
So you get in touch with me very easily by either going to the website at www.donbolduc.com, or you can call me at 603-828-4272, or you can send me an email at dcb@donbolduc.com. I meet with people for coffee. I meet with people for lunch. I'll do whatever venue you want. I am never too busy to meet for you, and it is the standard that has been lost. It's been lost out there. They don't work for you anymore. You work for them, and that costs you. It costs you everything. It makes your entire life more expensive, and they tell you what you're going to do, and that's just not the way it's supposed to be. And so I am going to be a different candidate. And if you don't believe that, look at the news. Look at the news right now. There's only one former general officer that is out there talking about the mistakes at the senior level. Nobody else is doing it. Jack Keane comes close, but he doesn't step over that line. I will call it the way it is, and I will make sure that I do the right thing for you. And I will talk to you on the phone, meet with you for coffee. This is what we're supposed to do.
Well, that's awesome. So if you're looking you want the general to come to a function that you're having, give him a call. He will definitely show up there and talk with you and answer your questions. He don't care what they is. I want to take this welcome. Thank you, Rico, for
thanks,
showing
Al.
up
Thank
today.
you for having me.
And General, and we're going to
Thank
have
you
you
so
back
much.
again. That's for sure.
I love it.
Once again, I'm Representative Al Baldasau, and this is Who's Looking Out for You, and we'll be back for another show down the road. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you.